of Sri Karnamrita. Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurum militam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Radha Krishna
Daya Vikriti Ladini Shakti Rasma Ekatmana Vapi Bhuvi Pura Deha Vedam Gatau Chaitanyakhyam Prakatam Adhuna Tadvayam Chaikyamaptam Radha Bhava Dyuti Suvaditam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. The loving affairs of Sri Radha and Krishna are transcendental manifestation of the Lord's internal pleasure-giving potency. They separated themselves eternally. Now these two transcendental identities have again united in the form of Sri Krishna Chaitanya. I bow down to him who has manifested himself with the sentiment and complexion of Srimati Radharani, although he is Krishna himself.
Hare Krishna. We'd like to welcome all of the wonderful devotees who have joined us over YouTube Live, devotees who have joined us over Facebook Live, and dear devotees who have joined us over Zoom. We welcome each and every one of you to this session, Day 5 of Sri Karnamrita. In this series of Sri Karnamrita, we will be listening to beautiful katha, which is nectar to our ears, on topics such as Siksastakam, Sri Gopi Geet, Radha Kripa Kataksha, Bhishma Stuti, Brahmar Gita, Venu Gita, Guruvashtakam, Damodarashtakam, and so on and so forth. So before we move forward, we'd like to announce and congratulate the participants from the quiz session from yesterday. We'd like to congratulate Hari Prasad Prabhu, Mother Amrita Radhika, Anjudi, Vinita Harjani Mataji, Shrimanta Dvi Prabhu, Vaijayanti Lalita Mataji, Mitanjali Pradhan Mataji, Meera Bhushan Mataji, Janeshwar Gauranga Prabhu, Barshana Chitra Mataji, Hari Krishna Madhali Prabhu, and Ananga Mohini Gopika Mataji. Thank you so very much. We are very, very grateful to all of you for participating in the quiz session from yesterday.
So in today's session, we will continue with Sri Siksastakam, the 8 teachings of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. And today, we will be covering the 4th verse of Sri Siksastakam. And today's topic related to that verse is, what is the formula for eternal love? So as we know, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu left us only 8 verses called Siksastakam, in which his mission and his precepts are revealed.
So now we'll continue with the 4th verse of Sri Siksastakam.
Nadhanam najanam sundari Kavitamba Jagadisha Kamaye Mama Janmani Janmanishware Bhavata Bhakti Rahaituki Tvayi.
O Almighty Lord, I have no desire to accumulate wealth nor do I desire beautiful women, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service, birth after birth.
So as it is said in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, chapter Canto 1, chapter 4, text 15 to 16, Adau Shraddha Tatha Sadhu Sango Atha Bhajan Kriya Tato Nartha Nivritti Syat Tato Nishtha Ruchis Tatha Atha Shaktis Tato Bhavas Tata Prema Vyudanchati Sadhaka Namayam Premna Pradurbhave Bhavet Kramaha. So here in the previous verses, we went through Shraddha, the stage of Sadhu Sangha, stage of Bhajana Kriya, stage of Anartha Nivritti. And also last week, we covered the verse of the third verse of Shikshashtakam, which signifies Nishtha. And now today, the fourth verse signifies Ruchi, which means taste in chanting the holy names, taste in devotional service of the Lord. Last time we had discussed about humility, how by humility and tolerance and respect and forgiveness, we will be able to chant the holy names of the Lord incessantly, constantly. And today we continue from there. If we chant the holy names of the Lord constantly, what happens? So it's not that if we pass from Shraddha to Bhajana Kriya to Anartha Nivritti, that now we are done with Shraddha. Now we are at Anartha Nivritti. No, the quality of advancement mentioned in one stage is included in the next, and it's also intensified in the next stage. So for example, Bhajana Kriya and Anartha Nivritti, they naturally deepen the Shraddha or the faith. And because we clear the anarthas, we feel the heart being cleansed by the holy names, and then it starts tasting sweeter while our longing to chant increases. So now we'll see what happens when it starts to sweet taster or taste sweeter. This fourth verse of Sri Siksastakam is speaking about how we can transcend even karma and jnana and come to the pure stage of bhakti. Ni na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitamba jagadisha kamaye. I don't want dhanam. I don't want any wealth. I don't want any janam, which means no followers. Na sundarim. I don't want any beauty of the opposite sex. Na kavitam va jagadish. Kavita means sweet praises or scholarship. I don't want all these things. I don't want scholarship. I don't want to be known as intelligent a person. I don't want to be known as someone who attracts the opposite sex. I don't want to be known as someone who has a lot of wealth. I don't want to be known as someone who has a lot of knowledge, jnana, because karma romanticizes the world. If we have good karma, then we start romanticizing this dukhalayam, this place of misery.
We start building relationship like a romantical relationship. I'll give this, I will get this. If I do this, I will get this in return. So that is called romanticizing, that if there is an expectation, if I do this if I work, then I will get money which is sweeter than honey, So like this way we are, with the basis of our karma, with the basis of our actions, we are trying to romanticize with this material world.
So karma romanticizes the world, jnana demonizes the world, and bhakti utilizes the world. So we want to, by saying na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, na kavitam, we want to go away from karma, we want to go away from jnana, and we just want bhakti, life and life again.
So Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada, he has commented in regards to this verse that wealth, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, wealth, followers, opposite attraction to the opposite sex, and also the scholarship, which represent even, our own pride in a scholarship achievement. So all of that actually relates to dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, which is limited to this material world. So the general temptation that surrounds us on all four sides is of four classes, which is based on money, it is based on followers, it is based on attraction to the opposite sex, and it is based on liberation. That, oh, I'm fed up of this material world, now I just want to get rid of it. Basically, that is what is dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. And in this way, the gradations of different goals of life have been very scientifically represented. This is the scholarly representation and the bhakti point of view of Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. But he points out that Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he's saying that I have no attraction for any of these four things. I do not have attraction. That I do not want, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. I don't want any of this. What do I want? I just want you, my Lord. I am not even aspiring for liberation. Because, why? Liberation, sometimes we think that, oh, what if? Let us see. Let us play a small game. Those of us who are on Zoom can maybe type their answers on the Zoom chat. Those of us are listening to us on YouTube, you can type your answers on the chat box. Those of us who are listening on Facebook, please type your answers on the Facebook chat. So please, let us answer this one question. Say, for example, today we receive a letter from Krishna. That Krishna is saying, maybe this should not happen, but if we receive a letter from Krishna saying that you just have 7 days to live, my dear, my dear soul, you are supposed to live in this body only for the next 7 days. What are we going to do? Let us see your answers. Please, can we have some answers on the chat box? That if we receive a letter from Krishna saying that we have only 7 days to live, what will we do? What will we tell Krishna? Any responses? Prabhu, what will you do? What will you say?
Well, I will first write an appeal to ask for extension of 7 more days. Krishna, can I get 7 more days? In the first 7 days, I have to close my bank accounts. I have to redirect all of the money to my dependents, and I have to take care of my work. I have my projects which are remaining. I might ask for a week's extension. I have to go travel the whole world.
So Krishna Sharanam Prabhu is saying, I will chant all the time. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu, for your response. Any other response? Please allow me to serve my spiritual master and chant the holy name. Hari Prasad Prabhu, thank you. Any other comments? What will we tell Krishna? That we have 7 days to live. What will we tell Krishna? Chant and meditate and serve. Thank you, Yamuna Mataji. Jai.
So the question is, why do we want to chant and meditate and serve? Yeah, this is a nice response. We'll be grateful to Krishna for giving 7 more days. At least you gave us 7 days. Right now, we don't even know whether we'll be alive next moment or not. But Krishna has guaranteed you will get 7 days, and I'll be thankful for that.
Thank you, Ranjani Gopika, for that comment. Ananga Mohini Gopika, thank you for that comment. Shrimantadvi Prabhu Vajanti, Lalita.
Throughout all my life, I wanted to serve Krishna.
Sorry, let's read the chat. Yes.
But please now accept me so I can serve you and my Guru.
Very nice.
Okay.
And Anjudi is saying, I should always remember you, Krishna. As you desire, you know the best. Just always remember me and give me your bhakti to your lotus feet. Very nice. Very nice.
You. So the question is why? Why do we want to chant? Why do we want to remember Krishna? Why are we praying that we want to remember him or accept us? Why? What is the purpose of that?
Amrita Radhika, thank you for your comment. So yes, so why do we do that? Because the answer to that is?
No, we want to see.
Okay, anyone? Answer to this question. Why do we want to remember Krishna?
Antinarayana Smriti.
Huh? Come again?
Antinarayana Smriti.
But why? The question is why? To show our love and devotion and seek his blessings. Very nice.
Seek his blessings for what? Why to seek his blessings?
Can I try, Mataji?
Sure.
Please accept my humble obeisances unto your lotus feet, Mataji and Prabhuji. Because Krishna is our eternal Father, and we have to reach his our house, and that's the reason we need to love him. So to get a pure love with Krishna that we've forgotten, so we need to chant Hare Krishna Mahamantram so that we can get closer to him and we can go back to Godhead.
So
thank you.
Is that the purpose, to go back home, back to Godhead? Someone wrote that I'd like to leave my body in Vrindavan. I'd like to go to Vrindavan and leave my body there. Why? What will happen?
Hare Krishna.
Yes, to serve Krishna.
We are such
yes.
Jai Shri Radhe. I feel that because Krishna is everything. He is our, he's Purna Purushottam, and we are such fallen souls that we have forgotten, and we have to purify ourselves. We are so impure that we have to keep on chanting just to purify ourselves, and that's the main purpose of, I think so.
Okay, so we got answers to go back home, back to Godhead, to purify us so that we can go back to Godhead, so that I can purify myself.
Go back to Godhead as he desires and all, but we have to have Krishna Tavasim. I think so. That's it. You are mine.
Your
and
voice
I'm
is
yours.
very slow, Karnamrita.
Anjali, aapka awaaz is very, very soft. You can speak a little loudly.
Is it better? I don't know. There's some wrong connection. Maybe I'll type it.
Okay. So if we see, if I want to go back home, back to Godhead, if I want to purify myself, if I want to get blessings from Krishna, all of this, these are quite selfish desires from a pure devotional point of view. Yes, these are very good desires from a material point of view. Better than
spiritual point of view.
Better than asking for material things for ourselves. We are asking for spiritual things for ourselves. But the point of pure devotional service is to be able to go above that. Selfish endeavors, even spiritual selfish endeavors. I'm not saying if we are at that level, we are at that level, and we should accept that. We should say, yes, my motivation is to go back home, back to Godhead. My motivation is to purify myself. There's nothing wrong in that. But higher than that is my purpose. I am chanting just to please Krishna. Just because he gave me a 7-day notice does not mean now I'll start purifying myself. I will still continue chanting to please Krishna. I want to make Krishna happy. I want to take the center away from me and put the center to Krishna. Because that is really my self-interest. Is nate vidu swartha gatim hi Vishnu. That our real self-interest is in pleasing Vishnu, pleasing Krishna. So this we should always remember. If Krishna wants us to go back home, back to Godhead, so be it. But if he doesn't want us to, we just want him to be happy. We just want to please him by our activities. If Krishna wants to purify us, so be it. But even if he does not purify us, we will still chant for his pleasure. And that is the goal that we must aspire for. We should not artificially try to be at that goal, but we should know that is the goal. And we should be at whatever level we are, we should accept it and slowly progress to this ultimate goal, to do everything for the pleasure of Krishna. That should be our only motivation. That is what is meant by na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaya.
And this is what Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu is teaching. If we see the last line, what is the last line where Mahaprabhu is saying, Mama Janmani Janmanishware Bhavatat Bhakti Ahaituki Tvai. Ahaituki means unconditional, which means that Gauranga Mahaprabhu is saying, I will not ask you that you give me liberation, or once I'm liberated, then when I go back home, back to Godhead, then I will be able to serve you better. No, this kind of condition, Mahaprabhu is teaching us that when we put this kind of condition to Krishna, it is not in the purest form of praying to Krishna. Mahaprabhu is saying that according to my karma, I may be born as a beast or a bird, even in my next life, or even if I may go to hell, it does not really matter. What is my only condition, my Lord? That my attraction for you may never be lost. That I can always, remember you. I can always be in your shelter. So this bhakti, this devotion is ahaituki. It is causeless. It is unconditional. So this is the natural state of the soul when we are asking for nothing from Krishna. So Srila Rupa Goswami, he actually defines this kind of ahaituki bhakti. How does he define it? Anya bhilashita shunyam jnana karmadhyanavritam anukulyena anukrishnanushilanam bhaktir uttama. That when we render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or even through philosophical speculation, that is called as pure, unalloyed devotional service. So in this verse, Dhanam, Janam, Sundarim, this is all in the karma level. And the bhakti has to transcend the karma. So dhanam, janam, sundarim, these are karma items where we are telling we don't want wealth, we don't want good birth, we don't want any followers, we don't want any attraction to the opposite sex. And jnana part is kavitam va jagadisha kamaya, that I don't want any kind of philosophical conclusions also. I don't want to be very poetic in my way of dealing. I do not want that also. And also, I do not want, kavitam also means that I do not want moksha, I don't want liberation. So, but what do I want? Mama janmani janmanishware bhavatat bhaktir ahaituki bhakti. So that is why Mahaprabhu is saying that I should just want only unalloyed, pure, unconditional love towards you, Krishna. That is all I want.
So one time, Srila Prabhupada was shown the photograph of a yogi, of a guru, who had taken a photograph like this. And he had taken photograph like this. And Prabhupada said, why is this photograph, this guru is saying like this? And Prabhupada said, his disciples said, well, his followers say that this signifies he does not want any money. Don't give me money.
Nothing mundane. I don't want money.
No money, no mundane things. So Prabhupada said, oh, you can take a picture of me hugging a pile of money like this. And then he said that we don't artificially renounce. Na dhanam means we don't say we don't want any money. But Prabhupada said, you can take my picture hugging a pile of money, that I am using this in Krishna's service. Yukta Vairagya. You should have Vairagya, but not Falgu Vairagya of no dhanam najan, of no money without any spiritual. But I'll take money, not for myself, but use it in Krishna's service. So that is the real understanding of na dhanam na janam. Because the aversion to commitment is not detachment. Prabhupada wanted to show us that sadhana bhakti is not about attachment or detachment. Sadhana bhakti is about commitment. Commitment to use Krishna's property in Krishna's service. Money belongs to Krishna. Lakshmi belongs to Krishna. We need to offer it to Krishna. That shows our commitment. It doesn't show our attachment or detachment. We should not be worried about that. We should be concerned about commitment to Krishna.
And how do we decide whether we are doing this act, like Srila Prabhupada? Anyone can mistake this. The act of Srila Prabhupada hugging money, can be very easily mistaken. That, oh, Prabhupada's, doing something very worldly, very mundane. But it is said that conscience is the dog that barks when the thief of sin comes to steal our bhakti. So the bark of conscience is our own guilt. So that way we can always keep our thoughts, our actions on radar. We can keep them always on check. What we are doing, why we are doing what we are doing. Are we doing it for our own sense gratification, or are we doing it for Krishna's gratification, for Krishna's pleasure?
Srila Prabhupada, he says that it's natural for us to fall down, but let's not remain in the fallen condition. We can fall down 1,000 times, but we must get up 1,000 times and not remain in that fallen condition. That sincere endeavor that we are putting in to rise is actually awarded by Krishna, is actually rewarded by Krishna. And when Krishna is pleased with that endeavor, then Krishna blesses us with spiritual advancement whenever he likes. So in karma and jnana, endeavor is primary. And in bhakti, mercy or grace is primary. That doesn't mean in bhakti there is no endeavor. There is endeavor. But that endeavor is only to attract the grace. Endeavor is only to attract the mercy in bhakti. But in karma and jnana, there is no endeavor to attract mercy. The endeavor is to go up ourselves.
So in this regard, there's a very funny pastime. There's once a man who was running inside a moving train, and he was running inside a moving train, and the passengers, who were sitting, they were looking at him and they were laughing that, hey, why are you running? Why are you running? He said, well, I'm getting late. There's the speed of the train. And then if I also run inside the train, then I will reach my destination faster. And then the passenger said, no, my dear sir, you are just over-endeavoring. You're wasting your energy. This train will reach at the proper destination at the time that it is supposed to reach. Whether you run inside the train or whether you don't, the train will anyways reach. So don't endeavor, just sit down and relax. Enjoy the ride. This is called where, in karma, we are just, centered around our own selfish activities, our own selfish objectives. So therefore, the endeavor becomes very much primary. But in bhakti, mercy is primary, like we see in the case of Mother Jashoda binding baby Krishna, that she was also endeavoring. She in the beginning was really endeavoring that I want to tie you up, Krishna. You've done so much mistake. I have to, check you. I have to punish you. I have to do this to you to bind you up. And then she said, Krishna, I can't do anything unless you allow me to bind you. So please help. And then Krishna got bound. So the ultimate objective was to please Krishna. So therefore she attracted the mercy of Krishna and finally was able to bind baby Krishna. So this is how we should understand the difference between karma, jnana, and bhakti. All these three are explained in this particular verse, on this fourth verse of Siksastakam, and how Mahaprabhu is directing us so that we can develop the taste towards ahaituki bhakti, towards unconditional love for Krishna, without any conditions. This is what even Srila Prabhupada is teaching us. That make me a puppet in your hands. Just make me dance the way you want. Whatever you want, you do with me, Krishna. Only thing that I know is that I want to follow the instructions given to me by my Guru Maharaj. So however you want to make that happen, you do that. That is your headache, Krishna. I am just a puppet in your hands. You make me dance. That is unalloyed bhakti. That is unconditional love. Surrendering everything, Atma Nivedanam. That is the ultimate. So this is what Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu is teaching us right here in the fourth verse of Sri Siksastakam. And we are very, very thankful to all the devotees who gave their answers in response to that question which we asked. We are very grateful to each and every one of you for your beautiful answers. Thank you.
Wonderful answers. It shows your devotion as well. One time, Srila Prabhupada was giving a lecture in the 26 Second Avenue. It's a small storefront in New York.
Which was called as the Matchless Gift.
Yes, the Matchless Gifts. And there were a few hippies who were sitting there, and Prabhupada was lecture Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And there, one person came in. Suddenly, the door flung open, and a drunken man entered. And this drunken man was going all right towards Srila Prabhupada. He went through in between all the devotees and everyone, and he went right through Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada stopped and looked at him. And as soon as he reached near Prabhupada, he turned to the left a little bit, and he went inside the restroom. Because in 26 Second Avenue, the restroom is right next to the Vyasasana. And quite close to the Vyasasana. So then he went inside the restroom, and everyone was like looking at him. And Srila Prabhupada was looking at him. What is this person doing? And he took a toilet roll, and he put
a new
toilet roll, and he put it in the restroom, and he turned around, and he just said like this, and he, swaying, and in a drunken manner, he went out. And everyone was stunned looking at this and going back and forth. What is this man doing? And then Srila Prabhupada said, this person's devotional service has started. Just because he endeavored to serve, unknowingly or knowingly, to serve the devotees, serve a pure devotee. Just by that, his devotional service has started, devotional life has started. So Srila Prabhupada always wanted to give compassion, out of his compassion, wanted to give mercy to everyone. He never wanted janam. He never wanted followers. He just wanted to do good to others, and automatically people were attracted by his love and his compassion. He didn't go forward, his prayer was, na dhanam na janam na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye. But I just want to give my love to everyone else, the love of Krishna to everyone else. And then everyone automatically got attracted. So this pastime shows how Prabhupada compassionately wanted to just give Krishna bhakti and start everyone's spiritual life and encourage them in their spiritual life. Because Prabhupada says, if we are not determined, then even the Supreme Personality of Godhead cannot help us. So that determination that we have is an expression of devotion, not willpower.
So in bhakti, in our devotional life, our strengths that we have, it can become our weaknesses. And our weaknesses can also become our strengths. It's very, very subtle. We may win against our temptations, and still we may not go near Krishna. Or we may lose everything, and we may still go very close to Krishna. So in this regard, there's a very beautiful pastime of Vritrasura, of Maharaj Chitraketu. You know, Chitraketu Maharaj was such a powerful personality that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sankarshan, gave his darshan to Maharaj Chitraketu. Chitraketu Maharaj was actually a very, very close friend of Lord Shiva. Very, very powerful personality, Chitraketu Maharaj. And one time, Chitraketu was going on his airplane, you know, his Pushpaka Vimana, flying airplane, he was traveling, and he saw that Lord Shiva was sitting in the assembly of many sadhus, of many saintly people, and he had Mother Parvati on his lap, and he was embracing her. So Chitraketu, looking at that, he just in a very friendly manner, because he has that relationship with Lord Shiva. So he just made a very simple comment, a very friendly comment, like a friendly banter he made. He said that, my dear Lord Shiva, who is the spiritual master of the general populace, he's the best of all living entities who have accepted material bodies, and he enunciates the system of religion. Yet, look how wonderful it is that he is embracing his wife Parvati in the midst of an assembly of great saintly people.
And Lord Shiva then just smiled, and he went forward with his katha. But even though Lord Shiva was undisturbed and knew the heart of Chitraketu that he doesn't mean any offense, but Mother Parvati was offended. And she said, my dear son, to Chitraketu, O impudent one, because you have spoken such offensive words, now take birth in a low, sinful family of demons, so you will not commit such an offense against towards exalted saintly persons in this world. So when Chitraketu was cursed by Mother Parvati, what did Maharaj Chitraketu say? He did not come down his plane and give explanation or became defensive that no, that's not what I meant. Please, you misunderstood me. You are wrong. You understood me right, incorrectly. But he descended from the airplane. He, without any explanation, he bowed down before Mother Parvati with great humility. And that pleased Mother Parvati very much.
And he said that I accept your curse. So this was so pleasing to Goddess Parvati, and she was actually amazed. And then, you know, Chitraketu Maharaj just said that he accepts it, and then he just boarded the airplane and he left. But when he left, Lord Shiva said to Mother Parvati that you do not know the relationship that I have with Chitraketu, and you should not have interfered in this way. You should not have cursed him unnecessarily.
And Chitraketu Maharaj at that time was a self-realized soul. He had had the darshan of Sankarshan, one of the expansions of Krishna. So from such a exalted position, self-realized soul, he was cursed to take birth in the family of demons. But he still remained self-realized. He was still a devotee, even though he had the body of a demon, and he came to be known as Vritrasura. And this Vritrasura was wreaking havoc amongst the demigods and the devatas. And when the devatas came to fight the demons, just Vritrasura with his copper red hair and coal red eyes, and his lips were white teeth coming out of his red lips. He was just charging towards the demons at such a tall, hefty demon. And the demigods, they looked at him and they were just running away, looking back. And Vritrasura was saying, you are Kshatriyas, you have come to fight. You should not show your back. Even if you die, it's good to die. Better to die than to show your back. And demigods were like, no, not with you. And they just started running away. And Vritrasura then came, and then later, all the demigods, they went to a sage called the Dhichi, because they were told that if you make a weapon made out of the bones of the Dhichi, then you will be able to defeat Vritrasura. So they went to the Dhichi. He was sitting in meditation, and they asked him, "We've come for a benediction." He said, "Yeah, what benediction do you want?" He said, "We want your bones." He said, "Oh, that's not a big deal. For my body is used in service of the Lord and his devotees. Take my body." And he went into samadhi and he left his body, and from his bones, then a weapon, a Vajra weapon was created. And Indra, he sat on his Airavat and went to fight Vritrasura. And when Vritrasura saw Indra coming with that weapon, he understood, this is my last day. And Vritrasura was celebrating. Wonderful, wonderful, Indra, I was waiting. When will you come and kill me with this weapon? Because after you kill me, I will go back to my Lord and engage in devotional service. And all I want to please Krishna, if this is what Krishna wants, Krishna has directed you to the Dhichi to kill me, I accept that death for Krishna's pleasure. And Vritrasura's only desire was to please Krishna. And Indra then killed him, and Vritrasura was liberated, went back home, back to Godhead. So here we see that an apparent weakness, like a curse that was given, turned into the greatest blessing for Vritrasura, because he continued to engage in devotional service with determination.
Hari Hari. So we may be unqualified, but we can never be disqualified to receive the mercy of Guru and Krishna. You see, our endeavors do not generate mercy. Our endeavors, it actually rather attracts the mercy of Krishna. We must always understand this, that it will not that, our activities, based on our activities, it will generate mercy. No, it will, based on the sincerity with which we render our actions, it will attract the mercy of Krishna. So we should be very, very, able to realize this aspect of pure devotional service that Mahaprabhu is teaching us. So we know that how these 8 verses are joined, they're like pearls which are joined through these nice string, which is of the string of Sambandha, Abhideya, and Prayojana. And this 4th verse is actually in regards of Sambandha. So we worship Shri Radha Madan Mohan as the Sambandha Vigraha to re-establish our lost relationship with Krishna. And in conclusion, we know that these 8 verses, they give us the highest realization of transcendental bliss and knowledge, and also it allows us entrance into the inner dealings of Shri Radha Gopinathji in Vrindavan. And how these 8 verses are direct match with the mood of Srimati Radharani and the gopis in the form of their Gopi Gita, like this 4th verse of Siksastakam, where Mahaprabhu is teaching us the formula to receive eternal love for Sri Radha Krishna by detaching ourselves from all mundane activities of karma and jnana and going for just ahaituki bhakti, for unconditional love. It corresponds directly to the 8th verse of Sri Gopi Gita, where the gopis are teaching us how Krishna's sweet voice and how the nectar of Krishna's lips, and in the form of when we accept the Mahaprasad coming from Krishna's mouth, we can attain distaste from anything mundane, and we can attain a taste and how we can become attached to Krishna, thus attaining eternal love for Sri Sri Radha Gopinathji. So the 8th verse says,
O lotus-eyed one, your sweet voice and charming words, which attract the minds of the intelligent, are actually bewildering us more and more. Our dear hero, please revive your eternal maidservants with the nectar of your lips.
Madhuraya
Yadira Valguvatyaya Buddhamano Shaya Pushkare Shana Vidhikari Rima Viramuyati Adharasi Tunapya Pyasya Sasvasana. So today's japa tip is anyone who has developed faith in the holy names of the Lord is worthy of respect and worship. And this japa tip will help us avoid the first offense to the holy name, which is to blaspheme the devotees who have dedicated their lives for propagating the holy names of the Lord. And if sometimes we may like some devotee, we may not like some devotees sometimes, but irrespective of that, this one quality that they are chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, they have faith in the holy names, that itself absolves them from all the offenses. So we must always be mindful that those who have faith in the holy name of the Lord, they are very, very special. You all are very, very special to that you have faith in the holy names. And any devotee, if we see them through this vision, we will always be respectful towards them. Because anyone who has developed faith in the holy names is worthy of respect and worship.
Haribol. So today we dedicate the chanting of the Hare Krishna Mahamantra to the family of our very dearest Anjali for the quick recovery of Anjali's mother, for our very dear Hemangi Mataji's mother-in-law, for our very dearest brother, for our dearest for our dearest Bhakti Mataji and Krishna Sharanam Prabhu, for the family of our dearest Amrita Radhika, for dearest little Mehek. We chant for Sumohan Gopal Prabhu and Champakalata. And we wish a very, very happy birthday to our dearest Bhakti Mati Indulekha Mataji from Mumbai. It is her birthday today, so may Shri Shri Radha Gopinath Ji shower their choicest blessings upon you. Hare Krishna.
May the Supreme Lord Sringadev grant protection and fearlessness to everyone.
Hari Hari.
Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chaksharam Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namaha. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Prachari Nirvishesha Shunyava Paschatya Vijita Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaitakalasudha Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Rama Hare Rama. Krishna Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Rama Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Jai Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki Jai.
So before we open up the lines, here are the quiz questions for today.
First, what does the fourth verse of Sri Siksastakam signify?
Second, how do karma, jnana, and bhakti make us look at the world?
Third, what is the purpose of chanting Hare Krishna?
Fourth, what is the natural state of the soul?
Fifth, what is sadhana bhakti all about?
Sixth, which verse in Sri Gopi Geet corresponds to the fourth verse of Sri Siksastakam?
And seventh, what is the japa tip for today?
Hari Bol, thank you so very much, dearest Ananga Mohini Gopika, for these fantastic quiz questions.
So now let's open up the lines for questions and comments. We have one question from Yamuna Mataji. Is it selfish to take joy in this way? Should we only try to please Krishna even in misery? Surely we should not consider service to be anything but joyful. Yes, that's a very nice point. Our goal is to please Krishna and feel joyful in Krishna's pleasure. Feel joyful that Krishna is being happy. But it should, even though we sometimes for example, our mind may not be cooperating for chanting Hare Krishna. We may be like, okay, today, right now, I'm just not able to chant. I'm just not, the mind is not allowing me to chant. So I'm too tired. So let me not chant. But a devotee who has a pure devotional attitude would say, well, yeah, my mind is not cooperating, my body is not cooperating, but chanting is not about making myself happy. Chanting is about making Krishna happy. So let me chant for Krishna's pleasure. And I know that because Krishna is pleased by my endeavor, so I'm taking joy in Krishna's pleasure. I'm not taking joy in my misery or my happiness or whatever. My focus of attention is Krishna. My focus of attention is not me. That is humility. Humility means neither inflated ego nor deflated ego. It does not mean that, oh, I'm so great. And it does not mean also that I'm so fallen. It means not to think about I, whether I'm great or I've fallen. I may be great, I may be fallen, I don't care. What I care is, am I pleasing Krishna? And in that pleasing of Krishna, I'm finding my real spiritual joy, which is deeper than my mental pleasure or the bodily pleasure. It's much more deeper than that.
And also, Srila Prabhupada explains that, yes, we may not be at the level of unconditional love for Krishna. That is accepted. Yes, we are not at that level. Definitely. That is why it is said that akama sarva kamo va moksha kama udaradhi tivrena bhakti yogena yajeta purusham param. That whether we have no desires, or we have all desires, or even if we desire liberation, still in all these three conditions, let us take shelter of devotional service of Krishna, and automatically, by engaging in devotional service to Krishna, by following the instructions of Guru and Krishna, one day we will come to the platform of unalloyed devotion to Krishna, of pure devotion to Krishna. So, hope this answers your question, Mataji. Very nice question. Thank you so much.
Nice question. Any other questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu and Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Hello, Shri Prabhupada. I have a question so, I mean, first of all, very wonderful class. I mean, it's like, it was very deep. And so the point I wanted to, first of all, please don't take me wrong, because, it's like my humble question. So we can see that, Yukta Bhairago, which is basically kind of engaging everything, like, whatever we have. So, but here we have seen in this verse that Mahaprabhu is saying that he didn't even want to have any of this, not even, let's say, devotees who are not kind of into that level, like not that high level. Sometimes whatever there is a kind of chance of getting like away from Krishna, because if have those like material opulences. So here we can see that Mahaprabhu is saying that, okay, I don't even want that. So it like looks like that it like even had the Yukta Vairaga is not even wanting those material qualifications, or no dhanam, no janam, no sundering. So am I right? Like, please.
Yes. What Mahaprabhu is saying, that I don't want it. And of course, as a sannyasi, even if he gets it, he won't take it. But then his disciple, like Pundarik Vidyanidhi, he was a great king, and he was sitting on the top of the vyasas of the asana, and he was being fanned by so many different servants, and he had so much opulence. But then when one verse on glorification of Krishna was chanted, he just fainted and fell down from his seat out of ecstasy. So Pundarik Vidyanidhi also did not want it. But if by Krishna's mercy, he gets it, he will use it in Krishna's service. So he's not attached to wanting it or not attached to not wanting it also.
Mhm.
But he does not really is endeavoring for it. He's endeavoring for spiritual perfection. And on the way, if he gets that, he will use in Krishna's service. And that's what Srila Prabhupada also said. He built such big, big temples. And so many people came and said, Prabhupada, you are a sannyasi. Why are you making such opulent temples? And Prabhupada said, as far as I'm concerned, I can sit under a tree and preach and chant. But then will you come under the tree to listen Krishna Katha? No, but if I build big temples, then you will come to hear Krishna Katha in those big temples. So I'm not making these temples for me. I'm making these temples to you so that you are attracted to Krishna and then you can hear Krishna Katha. So he used everything in Krishna's service. He did not want anything for himself. So similarly, we should, if we say, no, I don't want, then maybe Krishna is trying to engage us in some service. But we are saying, no, I don't want to be engaged in that service. So as long as we are under the guidance of our guru and senior devotees, yes, your point is well taken that we should be very careful. We are neophyte devotees. We should not consider ourselves so advanced that we can engage everything in Krishna's service, anything material, because we may also get attracted to it in the course of engaging it. So your point is well taken. That is a good caution. However, under proper guidance of senior devotees and guru and Srila Prabhupada's instructions, he has shown us and taught us how to perform Yukta Vairagya in a proper way. But your warning is also very important.
And that's a very good thing. But here again, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu is saying that it's not that physically we have to say, oh, I don't want, na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim. I don't want. It's not about telling it through the mouth. It's not about that. It's about, like Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu himself. He had, the entire India was following Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. He had followers, So everyone was attracted to Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So Gauranga Mahaprabhu didn't say, oh no, you don't come to me because I don't want followers. You don't come to me. No, Mahaprabhu didn't say that. He utilized everyone in serving Krishna. So the point is that what we're talking about in Na Dhanam, Na Janam, Na Sundarim is about the consciousness. That not to claim proprietorship, that this is mine, I want it for me. Yes, I want it, but I want it for Krishna. If Krishna wants. Therefore, I submit myself to you, Krishna. You do whatever you want with me. However you want. If you want me to live like a pauper, like a beggar, I live like a beggar. If you want me to live in an opulent life and use everything in Krishna's service, in your service, I will do that. Whatever you want me to do, you do. But my only condition is that may I have unalloyed devotion to you. That's my only request to you. That's the mood of this verse.
Thank you so much, Mataji, and Prabhu, like what a wonderful explanation. Like, I'm very happy to hear, such, deep insight, into the matter. Thank you so much. And my humble obeisances to both of you.
No, Santa, please do not apologize.
Wonderful question.
It was a beautiful question, Prabhu. Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anjudi, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Jai Jai Shri Radhe.
Yes,
Is my
yes.
voice better now? Much audible?
Much better than yesterday, yes.
And much better
No,
than before today.
yeah,
And clearer
previously
too.
also.
Yes, we can hear you much
Yeah.
better. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for these wonderful explanations and wonderful insights. And first, I will share one realization from the last class which you had, which really helped me. And it was a small, to give respect to others, whether they don't give respect to you. It was such a beautiful, it was a very big learning also, and really helped me. There was an incident in my house that I had invited some people and some very close friends, and like, very, very out of love, like, and that day to, and then something happened in the things we were joking or something, and a person got offended, a friend got offended, and just in my house, in front of thing, was not giving respect to me. But still, first I thought of it, and then again I said, okay, fine. Uh, I don't know how it just came to your learning, to my mind. Okay, fine. Today, Prabhuji and Mataji has taught me, Bhaiya Bhavi has taught us that whether they give respect to us or not, we not to think. So after they all left and all, and my family was telling me, how can you do mummy like that? My girls are telling, like, why you keep on doing this every time? You should put a stop to that person. I said, no, it's okay. That is her karma and this is my karma. It's okay. If they don't want to give respect to me, still it's fine. So because this has been taught to us, so many times, even Krishna is telling us, but now I should be more careful while talking. I should just not take it easily and joke around. I should be more thing. It's a learning for me also from this incident, that I should not joke around. I should be very, very careful to talk. And they don't want to give me respect, it's fine, but I have to give respect and all. But I will not stop talking, but I will be more careful in future. So thank you for so much for such wonderful these, like, and when we practice it in our lives, so many times we hear all these things, but as soon as we are in the material world, we just forget about them, and or they just go away. But just you said that if we are in the association of pure devotees, like you both and all the other devotees, and when they ask so many questions, they really, it opens up your mind also. Yes, we get carried away in material world. Even I forget. I'm not saying we are also this, that we also all forget, but it just bounce back. Okay, fine. That moment we get carried away, but then realizing and then bouncing back, it's very same. So, and then even about this, you said that that time I was just trying to say that even I remembered immediately that you said just to please Krishna, we have to do this unconditional love, because you had told us last time also, everything, no bound, no conditions, nothing, just to please Krishna, Krishna Tavasin. So I was just trying to say that when you could not hear. So that was, and then you had answered it so
Oh, sorry,
beautifully.
very sorry,
No,
but
no, no, nothing to be sorry. It was just like, I just, first I wrote that, then I just remembered back, because remember that you had told us in the previous class, and your classes are so much of learning every time. It gives me so much of patience and so much of strength right now when my mother is still there. It's more than 1.5 months. She's in ICU now, but it gives me so much of strength, and it just keeps me going with these classes now. And like as you always say, as Lord Dr. Nursing Dev, as he desires, he will do the best for her. That is the only prayer, and that thing. And I have, and even in Ramayana also, when I read, that is always I say that, they just say, bar 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 mango, harshay doshi rang, pad saroj anpaini, bhakti sada satsang. That was Shivji's only thing, that I just want your Anpaini Bhakti and Satsang, and that is so important. From the God's grace and mercy should always be with us. Now, regarding this one thing, I had one question in my mind. I have seen the devotees, they just hear the classes and all, and just to get away with it so many times, they will tell you something or the anything, and then maybe later on they realize and they says, oh, you just doing because we are both are into Krishna consciousness, we both are into service of Krishna. So just to get away with it, they just that time they just don't know what they are saying, whatever and all, but just to save themselves or something like that, they will, I don't know how to put it into the correct words, and then they use Krishna for that. Is it right?
I'm not able to understand the question. You may have to give an
No,
example or something.
whatever they want to say, that time they will forget Krishna, the teachings and everything they will forget. And they will just say whatever they want to say you to offend you, anything. Okay, fine, we understand for the class, but whatever, they will just go down how much they can, and anything they can do it. but maybe later they realize it or something, but that becomes a habit of them. They keep on repeating that time they get so much carried away that they keep on repeating one or twice, thrice, four times, which I have experienced many times. Then you will okay, later we realize it's okay, fine, it's fine, 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 but then they just tell you, oh, forget it, no, we both are into Krishna consciousness and we should not take it to heart and we should not do it. So is it a right uh, thing? Then they just to save their thing, they just takes then Krishna's name. Is it right? I don't know.
Well, we should move away from harm's way. If we are being hurt again and again, then we are not expecting any respect, but that doesn't mean that we'll put our head inside a lion's mouth. We should move away from that association if that's hurting us too much, or tell them that, this is it hurts me, and it's difficult to continue the association in this way. You are a nice devotee, and I want to also progress in spiritual life, and I respect you, but respecting does not mean that I will associate with you intimately. Srila Rupa Goswami says that we must associate with Swayuthan Bhaktagana, meaning those who are like-minded devotees. We should respect all devotees, but intimately associate with only like-minded devotees. And if someone is like this and hurting us, then we respect them, and we just respect them from a distance and say Hare Krishna, thank you very much, and move on.
And if someone is doing something like this, that, taking the excuse of name of Krishna and justifying their acts, then it's better to stay away from such association, not to hear such association. It's very detrimental because, first of all, we do not know what kind of consciousness they're speaking with. So just to avoid us being judgmental of them, we should avoid such association also.
Otherwise, we may end up becoming offensive towards them as well. And that may not be good for our spiritual life again.
So better to stay away from such contradictory association.
Yeah, very true. Yes, it just disturbs me, because so many times we just say, but inside the heart, because you're so close and you always think as a thing, but it just it's coming because it was disturbing me. This incident had happened around a week back, but still, I don't know. It just disturbs me because even my family was telling me, so I just don't know. So that's why I just thought like I'll just clarify with you because it does, yeah. And still, I have not, though I say, but still, I have not got over it. So I thought maybe I'll just clarify with.
Yeah. No, it can be very difficult, of course. Yeah. So better to stay away.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your wonderful answer. And always guiding us so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care, Dee. Love you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Radhe.
Jai Jai Shri Radhe.
Hare Krishna Mataji Prabhuji, and with
Hare
Pranam.
Krishna, Hare Krishna.
I'm feeling better, Prabhuji. So it will be there for 15 days. I'm just daily going. How about you both? You both are doing good, right? Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Prabhuji and Mataji. So wonderful session and wonderful bhajan as well. Today you sang in a different journal. I think first time I'm hearing this meter and singing my favorite Gopi Geet as well. And this is my favorite, one of my favorite verse in Siksastakam. Nadanam, Najanam, Nasundarim. Yeah, it's you beautifully explain this verse. And the karma romanticizes the world and bhakti utilizes the world. But I miss the word jnana. What will do, Prabhuji? Jnana?
Demonizes.
Sorry?
Jnana demonizes the world.
Yes, Prabhuji, correct. You're absolutely true. Yeah. And we will proud ourselves, right, if we have much knowledge. So we should feel always Yeah, in front of Krishna, in front of spiritual masters, we are zero. I will always have that in my mind. I'm nothing in front of you, Krishna and Guru, in front of Guru also. And you wonderfully stated like we should not generate the mercy, we should attract the mercy from Krishna by our actions, right? That is very, very wonderful thing. And quoting the example of Chitraketu Maharaj, so as a normal person like me, we will think that, right? I mean, initially, before coming to Bhakti, I'm doing all these things for you, Krishna. Why you are troubling me like this, like that? We will feel, right? So it's all our karma, and he will never put in trouble us in any situation. He will always helpful to us, which I'm realizing, Prabhuji and Mataji. He is helping me through you guys, through you, and through my masters and through my devotees. Everyone, somehow others, they are helping me in the words and guidance, everything. So we should never mistake Krishna and our Guru. So that I learned from this session, very, very important thing. So I like that example also. Even Chitraketu humbly accepted, right? So he the curse from Mother Parvati, and then he took birth, rebirth, and then he attended Goloka. And good question for asking us. So we should keep it in mind, like we need to please Krishna. So we will never think selfishly hereby. That is wonderful answer from you both. And one simple question, Mataji Prabhuji. Sometimes I'm also praying selfishly, like if it is painful mentally or physically, I will ask Krishna, give me strength to bear that. Is that fine, Prabhuji, Mataji? Can I ask that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
And specifically, if we ask Lord Nrsimhadev and Lord Balaram, because the purpose of you asking strength is not for sense gratification. Please give me strength so that I can execute devotional service properly.
Service, yes, that is my motto. Yes.
Yes.
Chanting.
So then, yes, it is perfectly.
It's perfect. We must pray to Lord Nrsimhadev and to Lord Balaram for strength every moment of the day. We must pray for strength.
Okay. And in these days, I'm extremely sorry. I'm not able to sit and chant. I'm just lying down and chanting. Is that fine, Prabhuji Mataji?
Absolutely fine, Prabhu. Absolutely fine. I remember when I was 13, I had a problem with my right hand, with the vein in my right hand, and I was hospitalized. And, I was told by devotees that I can, lie down and chant in the hospital bed. No problem at all. Just the main thing is that don't give up chanting in any situation.
Yeah.
So even if you're lying down, if you're not able to even, take bath or anything, don't worry about it. Just chat. Just chat.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your guidance, Prabhuji and Mataji. God bless you, both of you.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, Prabhuji.
Take care.
Dadvaith Pranam. Sure, Prabhuji. Sure, Mataji.
Veena Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Mataji, Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Thank you for such a wonderful class. Prabhuji, just a question. Like whatever we are going through now, our position, or maybe, ups and downs in life. So whoever you ask, they keep telling it's your past karma and it's your bad karma and all. So, but your previous karma, you're going through this. So how about this? Even this birth, if something happens, so how will that karma, how can we wash it out? Again, it continues like this? So even the next...
Yeah, very good question. Very nice question. There is karma, there is vikarma, and there is akarma. Karma is, sukarma is good activities. Vikarma is bad activities which lead to bad results. And there is something beyond both of sukarma and vikarma. It's called akarma. With sukarma, we get good reactions. With vikarma, we get bad reactions. With akarma, we don't get any material reactions. We act, but we don't get any material reaction. That is devotional service. When we perform bhakti, when we hear, chant, associate with devotees, serve the lotus feet of the Lord, the 9 processes of devotional service, they are all akarma. it does not generate any material reaction. It generates spiritual reaction from Krishna. Love of Krishna comes up, and this akarma can wash off our previous bad karma also. Just by performing devotional service of chanting one name of Krishna helplessly, it can actually wash out millions of lifetimes of karma. So chanting has the effect of not just not accumulating more karma, but also eradicating previous karma and purifying our mind so that we don't get the propensity to engage into bad karma.
And this is just a side effect of chanting.
Yeah. Purpose of that's a very good point. We should not chant thinking, oh, let me chant and get rid of my previous karma. That's an offense. We must chant to please Krishna, and as a result of that, Krishna may forgive the previous karmas.
And whatever we get as reaction, that will be just a devotee
Token.
always perceives it that this is just a token punishment for what I actually deserve. Based on my karma, I actually deserve to be, rotting in hell. I deserve, for the worst kind of things. But Krishna, you are so kind. You're giving me just this much suffering. Srila Prabhupada taught this by his own example. Once Srila Prabhupada's thumb just cut a little bit. And Srila Prabhupada said, oh, Krishna is so kind. My head should have been cut off. But Krishna is so kind that just a little bit of my thumb is cut. So this is Srila Prabhupada's humility, of course, but Srila Prabhupada is teaching us by his example that how we should take misery in our life, that we should be grateful that Krishna, you are so kind, that you are giving me only a token punishment for all the karmas that I have from either from this life or from my previous life, whatever it is. Karma accounts, we can't say, oh, I, have done this in my that life, therefore I'm getting this in my this life. No, karma is very complicated. The laws of material nature is very, very complicated. So let Krishna deal with it.
Yes, Mataji, actually, I'm ready to take whatever it is. That's not the thing, because only while we're doing devotional service, as for me, Mataji, nobody follows Krishna conscious. So, so many obstacles in between, so many things it keeps coming, and, so many services will be stopped in between. So, I'll be just wondering, maybe even to do this seva or service, we need to be, fortunate ones. So I was thinking maybe it's karma, because everywhere I keep hearing this, it's a bad karma. Maybe even this is also, I'm not worth, I'm not able to have it at all. So I was just asked for it, because anyway, we have to be ready, Mataji. Who else? We only have to take all these troubles, whatever he gives. Nobody else. We are only born to take all that, actually. So for that matter, I asked you.
Yes.
So, yeah, Mataji. Thank you so much, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you
Prabhuji.
so much,
Oh, Mataji. Thank you.
Any other questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Sharanam Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
So beautiful explanation of the word. And it is, every time I hear, I get new meanings out of it, So, and also all the questions asked by devotees, they are so beautiful. And very nice explanation of the questions and everything. I like it very much. Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Keshavi?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Mataji.
Mataji. Jai.
Hope you're feeling better.
Thank you.
Are you feeling better than before, Mataji?
Bhakti Mataji. Bhakti Rasa Mataji.
Okay, any other
Hare
questions,
Krishna.
comments?
Keshavi?
Hare Krishna, Mataji and Prabhuji. Please accept
Hare
my humble
Krishna,
reverence.
Keshavi.
Mataji, just a follow-up question, like just now Veena Mataji was discussing. Sometimes, we get obstacles in school also, so many tensions, maybe maid servants are not coming or some kind of a small things, but it hurts my mind, I keep on thinking about that, because how I can solve this problem. I know I cannot solve that problem. Only Krishna has to shower mercy, then only it will solve the problem. But sometimes Krishna will take time until last moment, he will not give. So we will get so much of tension and we get crying also. Why Krishna is not helping me? I cry like anything in front of Krishna. Sometimes, last week we had so much of trouble that until last moment Krishna has not given anything actually. But until that last moment, for 4 days I was suffering in my mind, and I got fever and everything also because of that. Mataji, how I need to handle that situation, because I'm not able to handle when I get some kind of situation that I cannot do with my hands. How I need to do that, Mataji?
We need to understand that any situation we cannot handle. That is the first thing. That any situation, we think, oh, some situations I can handle. Some situations, Krishna, you take care. That's an illusion. That we should know that we cannot handle any situation. That we are not capable
No,
of
Mataji.
handling.
I know I cannot handle any situation. I
But I'm
depend
just
on
saying,
Krishna, but I was waiting for the mercy of Krishna.
I understand. So all I'm saying is that we should have this understanding that we are not capable of handling any situation on our own. And at that moment, when the problem comes, when problems come, when difficulties come, we take shelter of Krishna, that Krishna, I want immediate solution, But we must realize that Krishna will act in his own sweet way. He will do when things are right, when he wants, how he wants. He may not do it the way we want it. And that faith, we must pray for that faith. We must pray that we are able to accept whatever is the decision of Krishna. That is the strength that we must pray for. That we can, accept the decisions and the actions that Krishna is bringing into our life. That's very, very important. So we must we must tell Krishna, this situation is coming up, please help. But not say that, okay, Krishna, do this, please do this for me, do this for me. No. But yeah, so the situation is always going to be challenging in this material world. There will be different kinds of challenges every single moment. But how to accept that, how to act in that way, that is the beauty and that is the art of Krishna consciousness. That is how we take shelter of Krishna. That is how we must learn.
And we just say, that situation, Krishna, I am yours, Navasmi. I'm doing this for your pleasure, not for my pleasure or satisfaction. So please guide me how I can do the best, offer the best result to you, and then leave it to Krishna. Then whatever comes out is Krishna's decision. And this is typical Krishna's. If you see that Krishna is leaving you hanging to the last minute, you can know there is Krishna's hand in it.
That is
because
Krishna's modus operandi.
This is his signature. The way he deals is he let the devotees go last minute, and as they are about to fall off the cliff, he'll then save them. He won't give the pleasure and security of saving them in the beginning itself, because he wants us to surrender more and more and more and more and more, and eventually he will save us, but he wants us to keep on surrendering. That is the signature. If we are in this situation, that is signature of Krishna. Because even with Draupadi, he did the same thing. With Pandavas, he did the same thing at the last minute, but then he will save them at the last minute. Draupadi, till the last minute, he left her, but he came at the last minute and saved her. Gajendra, last minute he came and saved him when he was just not able to do anything more. That's because at that time, the devotee is in a situation where they have literally left everything from of their understanding that I can do something. They have left everything. Now, Krishna, it's you. I've tried everything that I could, and I just can't. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna did not give his instruction to Arjuna until second chapter. Until Arjuna surrendered to him. Till then, Krishna was like, yeah, look at all these army people, look at your relatives, look here, look there. And Arjuna was baffled, and Krishna was, yeah, this happens, this, that. But then when he said, Arjuna said, Krishna, now I don't know, my mind is completely confused, please help me. That's when Krishna starts his instructions in the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. So don't worry, Krishna will always come and protect us. But he will leave us hanging till the last moment.
Yes, Mataji and Prabhuji. Same thing happened, same or whatever you are sharing, I try to remember like Kunti Devi and everything, because that's how we always remember, and we try to cry for Krishna. Maybe at least every day while chanting, or I don't cry, but at least I feel like whenever I get these kind of sufferings, maybe I'm crying for Krishna. So he's helping me out to cry for him. Yes, Mataji and Prabhuji, very beautifully you explained.
Another thing that could help, that a very senior devotee Prabhupada disciple told us, is that try practicing Anusmarana. Anusmarana means when we are going through some tough situation, try to see which devotee in Bhagavatam or Chaitanya Charitamrita or in the scriptures, Mahabharata or Ramayana, was going through this situation, and try to feel what they must be feeling in that situation. Because we are helpless now. When, for example, Gajendra was in that situation, when Kunti Maharani, or when Vritrasura, or even Chitraketu Maharaj was in that situation where he was now cursed, and now he's helpless. He can't do anything. What he must be feeling. And we'll be able to get a glimpse of what they are feeling, and then be inspired to do what they did. And that is called Anusmarana. Transport our consciousness from our troubles and transfer our feelings to understand what they must be going through. And that will give a lot of solace and spiritual strength to us to deal with that situation.
And that will also help us, that how they took shelter of Krishna. Then when we put ourselves in that situation, then we can also follow in their mood, their footsteps, and take shelter of Krishna. It will be very, very inspiring.
Yes, Mataji, Prabhuji, very nice. Thank you for that. Now, from now onwards, I will try to remember. Last week also, I was remembering same Kunti Devi also. But Anusmarana, I will remember this one. And I want to share one more thing, Mataji and Prabhuji. I went and we all met Baba and Amma. We felt so happy actually. The photographs you kept in your house, so beautiful.
It's not our house, it's their home.
Yes, it's so beautiful actually, all the pictures. And Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra you painted, really it attracted so much actually. When we entered and we saw the Jagannath Baladev face, so smiley and so beautiful, Mataji, no words actually. And all of our Bhakti Viksha members, they felt very blissful, because Baba has shared Guru Maharaj, pastimes, and his glories, everything. So it was so wonderful. Really, we have some house actually. Anyway, Mayapur means Radha Madhav and Panchtattva, we meet them, but we have a separate house like Baba and Amma and you and Prabhuji to meet.
That
and
is your
very
home. That is your home.
we felt very happy, Mataji. It was hectic for us, but it was so good. All of our Bhakti Viksha members were so happy. Please continue to bless us, Mataji. It's all because of your inspiration and encouragement. We are here actually. Otherwise, we are nothing, Mataji. We will be in the material world all the time, just enjoying ourselves.
You are extremely dear to me, Keshavi. You are my very own sister. So heartfelt prayers are there for you every single day. We pray for you and your family and all your Yatra members.
And thank you for the deities, Mataji. Deities are so beautiful. Everyone was so happy, Mataji. So
Jai.
happy.
Jai. Thank you. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Any other questions or comments? If not, we can end here. Vansha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.